Welcome to Live, Let Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
Of Live,
Let
Thrive. What is up, Myka man?
I'm good, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
Good, good. Another long week, grinding wears on you sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta have a team. Definitely gotta have a team if you're gonna be grinding.
It helps, Just like anything, like as fitness, health and fitness, it helps you have a team, to keep you honest.
Yes, sir.
And nutrition and all that stuff. And hustling, getting out there and finding houses, finding deals.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's what we got a hustler on the show today. This is episode 153 of your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, Homeaway, Turo, Lyft, all that stuff, share economy podcast in the world. And we have a special guest, Miss Amanda Williams.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
What is up, Amanda? We have another person we've met off Clubhouse, right? Another awesome connection from Clubhouse. So, Amanda, kind of go into your name. Your name is the Traveling Realtor. How does that work?
Yeah, so a few years ago, I decided that I needed to create a brand around what I wanted to do in life. I didn't want to be a crazy, chaotic real estate agent. So I was a realtor, I was an investor, but I also love traveling. And so at that point, while sitting in a hammock in Jamaica, I said, all right, I'm going to marry these two. And that's when I really started focusing on my passive income activities. So that's been about, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Okay. So you just travel as a realtor and your team back home handles everything else, right?
Well, the way our real estate brokerage works, I can have agents work with me from anywhere in the world. And so it's beneficial because now that I'm in Mexico, I'm actually partnering with agents here in Mexico as well. So yeah, it's super cool. It's a different structure than anything else.
Wow. And you're also in the short-term rental space, right?
I am. Yes. Our properties are back in North Carolina, mostly Raleigh area.
Really? So you think you're like the second or third person from North Carolina that's in the short-term rental
Tar
space?
Heels.
So how did you get into the short-term rental space? When did you get involved, and how many units are you operating?
So we got involved about 3 years ago. We ended up having to take my dad to Mexico. My dad got cancer. And so we decided we were going to take him to Mexico for an alternative cancer therapy treatment down there. And so we put our house on Airbnb. We've always traveled in Airbnbs and stayed in Airbnbs. And so we said, you know what, let's try this house hacking thing. I don't even think that's what it was called back then, but that's what we did. Like, we locked our closet, we locked our attic, I locked my office, the garage, and we took all of our personal belongings and threw them in those rooms. And then we went off to Mexico. And the house ended up paying, just its first 2 weeks on Airbnb, it paid for the mortgage and it paid for our apartment that we were renting in Mexico. And so at that point, we were like, I think we're onto something. So that's what started us down our journey with Airbnb. And at the time, we were flipping houses too. And so we had a couple flips going on. And instead of selling them, we just kept them as Airbnb properties.
Wow.
So the Airbnb house hack. I love it.
Yeah, that's like the first stage, right? For a lot of us, I think that's how we all got in. We're like, oh, wow, this works.
I tell people at work that all the time. I'm like, hey, y'all are going on vacation, right? Yeah. I said, how would you like to have a free vacation? It's like, what do you mean? I said, well, just when you're gone, just rent your house out on Airbnb. He's like, no way. I'll never let anybody, strangers come into my house, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. So you'd rather leave it empty so a burglar can go clean you out.
Right.
So anyways, I've done it before, and yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, get your vacations for free. Make money on your vacations.
For real.
Our house paid us over $3,000 in 2019. And we stayed there for 3 to 4 months that year, and it still paid us $3,000.
Wow. Now, have you still been renting it out during COVID?
Oh yeah. But yeah, we have someone in right now. I think they're there until April. So we're doing more like midterm rentals. So most of our properties are not on Airbnb. I mean, they are, but they're like blocked out. But So we'll get into like that a little bit more, but COVID's been a blessing with us just because we've pivoted to more of a midterm rental. But yeah, we're living in Cabo. We came to Cabo in July for a real estate investors mastermind, and we literally didn't leave. Like, we're like, oh, we like it. Let's stay for 4 months. So we signed a 4-month lease. And then 4 months in, we're like, oh, well, we kind of still like it. So then we signed a 6-month lease, and here we are.
Wow. That's awesome. Go ahead.
Is it a better play to rent something in Cabo instead of go and buy something, or do y'all plan to buy something there?
I don't know. I mean, you have to buy cash here. So I'm not one, I like to leverage. So I don't know if I really want to go dump, $500,000 to $1 million in a property cash. I don't really have that money to go do that, honestly. When I do have that money, I would rather go get, either buy properties with bank lending with 20% down in the US, or like I'm buying a property right now in Belize with, I'm doing 30% down on that property. So if these different countries, these different areas will finance me, I'm all about it. But I don't know, everyone has a different idea about investing, but I'm one to, I want to get as many properties as I can and leverage that house.
That's good. A wise man once told me, he said, invest where it makes sense and rent where you want to live.
Yeah, Grant Cardone does that.
Yeah, see, the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, especially the higher end you go, you can rent something really nice for like a lot less money than it would cost to actually own it. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, like the house that we rented when we first got here, we did 4 months on it. That house normally rents for $2,000 per night on Airbnb. Ooh. But since it was COVID, they gave it to us for $10,000 a month. But that house was on the market for $5.2 million. So it's like, yeah, I'll pay $10,000 a month for that property. Like, that's huge.
You mean your rentals will pay $10,000 a month for your property?
Well, we actually did pay that because we were staying there. We had 2 other people stay. It was a compound, like literally on the cliff. And then there was a little casita up top. And so we were renting the casita for $400 per night. And we would bring in our students because I was teaching. And then another person that was staying in the house with us was teaching. And so we'd bring people in. And so essentially we were only out of pocket maybe $1,000.
Oh, beautiful.
A month, yeah.
Can't beat that. So now I have a question for you because you have your other places back home. You said they're midterm stays and they're blocked out on Airbnb. You sparked my interest. How are you going about getting the tenants without Airbnb?
So I have a real estate brokerage. I'm partnered with eXp Realty as well. And so we've got probably about, 70 agents now in the Raleigh area that work with me. And so what I do is I market like crazy. So we do a lot of videos. We're starting to put more of those videos out now. I'm doing advertising all over social media. So I'm doing all my ads. And also on Zillow. I have our properties on Zillow. And we just really, a lot of ours is coming from referrals. So now everyone in our area knows, if anyone mentions Airbnb on Facebook and any of our like local groups, like people are throwing our names out left and right. And so that's what's really getting us the most bookings. But you have to keep in mind too, like my perfect client, my perfect guest is not what normal, Airbnb hosts are looking for. So I'm going after people who are moving to our area and they're looking to stay in a location for 30, 60, 90 days at a time. I offer them we have 15 properties. So I offer them, hey, if you want to stay in Chapel Hill for a month and then Clayton for a month and, Garner for a month, these are all different areas around Raleigh, then you can do that with us. And you can really like submerge yourself into that local market and figure out where you want to live because 90% of our relocation buyers are coming from California and they don't know where they want to live. I mean, they may have been to Raleigh once or twice, but they don't know the differences. And these little towns around Raleigh, they're all very, quaint and they have their own character. And so we want them to make sure that, they're a good fit for that town.
Whoa, now you sparked my interest again. Now, you said the Californians are moving there. They're moving to Texas like crazy too. What has that done to the market out there?
Which market?
The market out in what is it, North Carolina?
In North Carolina?
Yeah, where your Airbnbs are. How is that affecting the market? Is it going crazy?
Well, I'll tell you this. People thought I was crazy because I would go rent a property for, $1,500, which the market rent. So the rent estimate is $1,500 on Zillow, but I have that exact same property on Zillow for $3,500 because now it's fully furnished and all utilities included and everything. And it's renting like hotcakes because these people from California, I was paying $4,400 a month when I lived in California, and that was rent. And that was not including my utilities, and that was not a furnished house. And so $3,500 a month in rent is nothing. And they're getting a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, fully furnished, all utilities. They're getting everything. And so it's a deal for the people moving from California. And it's a convenience fee as well. The local people in my local market, they don't get it. They've never lived in California. They don't know what those prices are. But really, it's a matter of just targeting my perfect avatar, which are relocation clients from California. I know my people. I can talk to my people. And then I lived in LA for 9 years. So it's really easy for me to have those conversations and then figure out, who they are, what they like,
Mm-hmm.
And then I can make recommendations as to where they should go and buy within the area. And then based on those conversations, I'll pass those buyer referrals over to my agents because I'm obviously not there. So I pass them over to my agents and just do a referral fee on the back end.
Wow. So you went to the market that the Californians want to go to. You go rent a house, $1,500, re-rent it for $3,500. That is an excellent arbitrage play. So people in Dallas, DFW, you might want to go to Frisco and rent you a house.
So you ain't gonna get one for $1,500 though.
Might get it for $2,000 and put it up for $4,000. So
I mean, we do that too. We just rented one actually. We're moving in this week. We rented one for $2,000, and that'll rent. I don't know. I'm guessing about $3,800 on that one. Still but it's great. Okay because we're about $500 to $600 in with utilities and everything like that. So we're still making good money on it.
Can't beat that. No. Now, have you arbitraged apartments before?
No, I don't touch apartments or anything like that. I do have one townhouse. I don't like it. Like I would rather have my biggest. 99% of our properties are 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a 1/2 acre of land. So that's what people know us for. I do have one tiny home. It's a 400 square foot log cabin, brand new, granite, like beautiful. Mm-hmm. I do have that, but it's sitting on 4 acres of land. So that's a little unique. And then we do have one 3-bedroom townhouse as well, 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse. I got it because I like the location. And really the landlord was like begging us to take it over. And it's been good. It's been fine. It's just I don't like to have neighbors that close.
I'm liking how you brought that up though. You branded yourself. Like we give you this house on this much acre of land. I love that. Branding is super important. I love that.
Yeah. And you know what? Like we didn't go into this like figuring out like, oh, this is going to be great. We just kind of fell into it. And when COVID hit, I was like, oh my gosh, we have something that no one else has because I can now go into these markets where people are living in tiny apartments in downtown cities and they want out because of COVID. I can now go into those markets and I can market to them and say, hey, come quarantine with us, have your own house, your own land. And that's what I did. And I got a lot of backlash for it. But whatever, like I was 100% occupied during COVID.
That's what's up.
It is what it is. People, they wanted to get out of the city. They wanted to get out of the apartments. Mm-hmm. And I just made that happen for them.
So what's your sales pitch to a potential someone that owns a home that you want to rent from them and then put it on Airbnb or put it on whatever corporate rental? How do you convince them that that's a good thing for them? Because a lot of them will be skeptical. What are you going to do? You're going to run an Airbnb out of this place? Nah, that's my home.
Yeah. So it's super easy, honestly, because we are, we have a brokerage. And so I just tell them, I'm like, look, hey, I run this as a business. I'm going to use your property to attract clients who are moving into the area. And they're going to come in, they're going to stay in the property for 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, doesn't matter. And we're going to help them find a home. And so that's my pitch on it. When before COVID, I was actually putting everything on Airbnb, and I still do put it on Airbnb just for marketing purposes, but my calendars are blocked unless I have like a week or two in between two guests. And my whole thing with putting on Airbnb is like, hey, look, you're going to have 3 insurance policies because you have your insurance, and then I have my own liability insurance, and then Airbnb offers another insurance policy. And so I had all of that going. I have a whole landlord letter of like the pros and cons. So I talked to these landlords face to face when I first started doing this. Now we do Zooms. But I went and I met with them in person. I looked at their property, and I told them I had 15 long-term rental properties before doing this. And so I'm like, look, renting to someone long-term, they may go for months or years at a time if you're not going in checking on your property without telling you about a leak. And all of a sudden your floor is falling through. Like, that's not going to happen renting to us because we're in there. We have professional cleaners. This house is like walk-in ready, showcase ready at any time our clients leave after it's cleaned. Mm-hmm. And so they like that. And I also tell them, anything that breaks under $200, I'm fixing it. I'm not going to worry you with it. But look, if that HVAC goes out or if we have a, water heater that bursts, I'm going to call you. And they're cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great sales pitch. I love that. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Steve. No, go ahead, Steve.
You mentioned building your avatar. So how does someone go about building their perfect avatar?
I think it depends on where you are. And, we're not a vacation area, right? People do come, but they come to visit family or they come to, job interviews or whatever. You just got to figure out like who's coming to your area. And also, are you a real estate agent? So are you going to be able to make money on that side of things as well? I mean, that's, you got to brand yourself, just like we've done. We've branded ourselves with the 3 2s. We've reached out to other real estate agents and insurance adjusters and all of that in the area and just let them know what we're doing.
And how do you go about, like you said, you have 15 properties up there. How are you going about managing all those from Mexico? You have a channel manager you use, or how do you go about managing all those?
So we have Glenn, and he's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's just one guy. It's actually a guy that we've known since high school. And he's been working with us since the very beginning. And he does everything for us. He handles the yards. He handles move-ins, move-outs. He does the cleaning. He has people who helps him clean as well. But he's always eyes on property. So he's the last one in before a client comes into the property. But he handles everything for us. Like, we couldn't do it without Glenn.
Wow.
Because you do have to have someone there, right? You have to have someone you can't just go hire a normal cleaning company, in my experience, because, what happens if it's not done correctly? And you get a couple of bad reviews on Airbnb, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you pay Glenn? Does Glenn get just like a percentage of the bookings, or how does that work?
He gets an hourly rate.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I need to look into doing that. Doing an hourly rate.
You're always big about boots on the ground, Myka.
Yes, sir. Wow.
And so you own properties too, correct?
We do. Out of the 15 we have, I think we own like 5 or 6. I don't know. We have a couple flips going right now too. But Damn. I think 5 of them that we have as short term we own.
Oh, okay. And is that your goal, to have like a mixture of owning and then doing flips and arbitrages at the same time?
So I don't want to flip. I keep saying I'm not flipping anymore. But deals keep coming in my face. So anyways, no, I don't want to flip. I mean, flipping is a cash injection. I said, years ago, I want to focus on passive income streams. That is it. If I can't do the work one time and get paid multiple times, I do not want to do it. So flipping just keeps coming up in my lap. We're not, so when we're flipping these properties, but we're not hands-on, right? I mean, one of them I've JV'd, so I don't have to deal with any of it. I just kind of put some money in, got the deal, structured the deal subject to. So he's handling everything. And then the other flip we're doing with my partner's brother. And so he's taking care of like the project itself. And then we're just going to split the profits on the back end. So I don't know, we're just getting creative. I owner financed that deal. I'm really good at like doing creative financing. So if I can get my hands in there and like do an owner finance or a subject to or a lease option, like I am all about that. And that's kind of exciting, but I don't like the flipping work.
So what makes you like, if a deal hits your desk, right, and it's a flip, have you considered just doing like a regular BRRRR, just buy it, rehab it, refinance it, put it on Airbnb, rent it, put it on Airbnb, or you rather?
We've done that. That's how we got started in our long-term rental portfolio. We BRRRR'd everything. Well, actually we did owner finance on them all. And then we did the BRRRR method on them. And then I had mostly 5-year balloons on those properties. And so after that 5-year term, I ended up selling a lot of them, which was in 2019. And then the ones that we did keep, I think we did a cash out refi on 1 or 2 of them. And then we still have some that are still owner finance long-term rentals, but those are properties that could never be a short-term rental, And
so when you say they can never be a short-term rental, is it the numbers don't work or how or neighborhood?
Neighborhood. Yeah, it's not the best area. And we would have to go in and just, we renovated the properties when we bought the properties, but we did a long-term rental renovation on them.
I know what you mean.
There's definitely no granite in those properties.
Wouldn't fit the brand. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, those rent for $750 a month. They're just like little houses in a little part of town. So, but that's just not our brand. Yeah, it's not our brand.
Gotcha.
So how has doing everything from a distance, from far away, how has it helped your business and how has it hurt your business?
I can't say it's hurt our business at all. I would say it's helped our business, honestly, because more people are attracted to the lifestyle of, oh, wait, you can just go to Cabo and not come home. Yeah, I can do that. And so it's attracted a lot of other agents to me as well. Actually, agents and investors. So people are contacting us on a daily basis and wanting more information. They're wanting to learn what we're doing. I have tons of agents contacting me wanting to join my team. I have a team within eXp Realty as well, and I teach all of them how to do this. So I've got agents in multiple different states running this exact same model. So I just had one of our agents, I was about to post it. I saw it. She just got her 5th property. I'm so excited for her.
Let's go.
Yes.
And so when you say she got her 5th, she got her 5th arbitrage or actually owns 5?
Arbitrage.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Actually, she owned one of them, I think, but she's arbitraging the rest of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a believer in arbitrage. Owning's fine, whatever, if you get the tax benefits of owning. But what I don't like about owning them is when something big breaks, then you're responsible. So I have a property right now, and it's $9,000 in repairs, in septic repairs, the septic line to the street. I don't even know. Some crazy stuff. It's been we literally had to ask our guests to leave in the beginning of December, I think it was, maybe late November, and it's still not fixed. And so this is a property that we rented. So obviously we're not having to pay the rent because we can't occupy the property. And we're not having to pay that $9,000 sewer bill.
Beautiful.
I like that. The advantages of arbitraging.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a property go out. The well went out about a year ago. It was actually the house that I flipped, and I kept it as a rental property, short term. I flipped that house. The well went out, and like I couldn't get a new well dug. It was like this huge thing. There was like all this stuff in the water, and I had no choice other than to annex into the city and then hook into city water. That took me 3 months. So my property was vacant for 3 months. I was paying a $1,200 mortgage on it, and it costed me about $10,000 to annex and to hook into city water.
Oh my
So at that point, I was like, ain't buying no more properties.
You kind of said something that kind of made me think of something. So you said it was a flip property that you did and had this well issue with. Have you ever flipped a property and then rented it from the person you sold it to?
No.
Okay.
I usually sell to end buyers.
Okay. So someone just looking to move into a house. Okay.
Yeah.
Not looking for an investment property. I was wondering if people were doing that because how you worded that, it made me think about that.
So I have done this. I have sold an investor a house and actually like picked out the house that I wanted to rent from them. And so been like, hey, buy this and I'll rent it from you.
Smart idea. I love it. Okay. That's a good idea.
So your houses that you target are 3-2s. About how big? You said how big they were?
They're, I think our smallest one's 1,300. Well, besides the cabin, our smallest 3-2 is 1,300 square foot, and we go all the way up. The one that we just got that we're moving into next week, that one's like 3,500 square foot.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So what are like some tips to furnish an entire house without spending a crap load of money?
I'm a cheapo. So I have relationships with wholesalers, number one. That's huge. And you can find wholesalers, we found all of our wholesalers on like Craigslist and Facebook. And they don't say that they're wholesalers. They just have, the same bed frame, a lot of them. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. You wholesale this. I need 15 mattresses, or I need like 15 bed frames. So that's where we found our wholesalers, and we buy like all of our bed frames, mattresses, all of our couches, dining room tables and chairs, kitchen tables. What else do we get? A lot of our bedroom furniture as well. We get a bunch of stuff from them. We even have a wholesaler rug guy. So like all of that stuff comes from them, and I'm talking it's cheap. It's like my couches are like $400. My headboards are like $150, and this is like really nice stuff. And so that's where we get a lot of our stuff. And then a little trick that we've been doing, we will go as far as like decorating goes. There's a lot of people that get transferred to an area and they stay for 6 months or a year. It didn't work out, and they have to move back across the country. Well, when they got here, they bought everything new from rooms to go normally. And so these people will have these moving sales, and you'll find them on Facebook or on Craigslist, and they'll be posting like 100 items. And so we call them and we're like, hey, look, we're interested in buying your whole house, like everything. Can we come take a look at it? And so we'll go over, take a look at it. If 70% of the stuff is stuff that we would use in an Airbnb, then we'll just make them an offer, and it's usually $2,000 to $3,000 to buy everything in the house. And I'm talking the dishes, everything. And we will take our U-Haul there, and we'll take everything, and what we want to use, we'll use, and what we don't want to use, we'll donate it to charity and take a tax write-off.
I love that.
And it's cheap. I'm not talking about, like used looking stuff. This is like nice stuff. They just don't want to have to pay to move it across country. Like I did that. It cost me almost $4,000 to move my junk to North Carolina. I'm like, I could have bought all of that brand new.
Wow. That's insane. Wow. Because like people here are spending $5,000 to $10,000 to do like a 1-bedroom arbitrage, So I'm like, you say you could do it for $2,000 to $3,000 a whole house. That's amazing.
Well, that's buying someone else's house. So when you do that, you're obviously buying all of your sheets and blankets and linen and towels and all that stuff. So we'll be in normally about $4,000 to $5,000 if we hit a good sale, right? So yeah. Normally it's I'd say between 4,000 to 6,000 for us to furnish a house.
So I take it you communicate with whoever the person is that's moving, and you say you want to go see it, and you send Glenn out there to go do all the work. That's beautiful.
Yeah, he'll FaceTime us. Yeah.
Huh? Oh,
And how long does it take to usually get that set up?
What, a house?
Yeah, like if you guys got to go and find the wholesaler and all that, how long does it usually got? Like, you guys have the house today. How long? When is it things gonna be live and ready to go?
So you guys are gonna flip out when I tell you this. So one of the houses that we rented has oh my gosh, I don't even know how big this shed is out back. It's probably like, I don't know, 60 by 60. I mean, it's like huge. It's huge. It's a huge building out back. And so there's another driveway that gets to this big building. So we rent the house and then we keep the building as our storage. So my partner is always like looking for deals. And if we find a deal, we'll go buy the whole house and we'll just take it all into the storage. And then we have everything whenever we do get a property. So like we just picked up this property this week. Well, we have to go to Walmart and buy like a couple of things, but we have everything else in storage already.
Oh, you preparing.
Yeah, because as you go, you may see something cool. Like you're driving down the road. Like my mom does this for us. My mom's in North Carolina. And if there's a yard sale and there's like a pretty painting or something, she'll stop and she'll be like, oh my God, that would be perfect. And so she'll buy it for 10 or 20 bucks and we'll go throw it in the storage unit and think, oh, we may use that or we may not. I don't know.
wow. That's so cool. So why you said you're buying a place in Belize? Why Belize?
I love Belize. So I don't know. I absolutely love the islands and we go there quite often. And I used to run the Triangle International Council of Realtors back in North Carolina. And one of our speakers one time was a gentleman that has been building in Belize and Panama and Nicaragua for like 23 years. And he owns he's a partner in a bank as well. And so he came out with these super cute overwater bungalows with the glass floor. And I took one look at it and I was like, oh, I have to have one. And so I bought one and we're still in construction. So it's not going to be done until November. We are going out there in a few weeks just to take a look at it and everything and see the location and all that stuff. But it's funny because I bought one and then I posted a picture on Facebook and I was like, so I just did a thing. I just bought one of these units. And I ended up selling 8 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So my down payment is almost paid for by the referral fees that I brought in just from doing one post. And I didn't even mean to sell them. At the point I was like, oh, wow, I have people wanting to buy these too. And he's like, well, you get a referral fee. And I was like, score. Okay.
Holy crap. She hustles on every level, Myka.
For real.
Yeah, get your real estate license. There's tons of opportunities. I'm selling now.
It's been on my mind too.
It's been on my mind.
We've gotten advice from people in the past and other like kind of real estate mentors that have had their license, and they've told us like, you probably shouldn't get it because then if something happens, then if you go to court, the judge will be more, he'll be more strict on you because hey, you're a realtor, you know better than you can do this or that. But I don't know. I'm thinking it might be a pretty good asset after all.
Just be in integrity with everything that you do, and you don't have to worry about that. You'll be fine.
That makes sense. Maybe that person
you're missing out on a bunch of money by not having your license. Like think all of the referral fees.
Steve, you were getting some bad advice from when it was a little shady.
Hey man, some people walk on the edge a little, nothing wrong with that.
But there's not much you can do to mess up having short-term rentals. I mean, I could see that if you're out, wholesaling and stuff like that. But as long as you're upfront with people, like every single person, every deal I've ever done in my entire life, they know that I'm a real estate professional. They know that I'm a realtor. It doesn't matter if I'm doing a subject to or whatever it is. They know that.
So now I have a question. Yeah. Were you a real estate investor before you became a real estate agent?
100%.
See, that's the key that I always look into. Like, if you were an investor before, and then like I noticed the people who are just agents and don't really understand the investor side, it's kind of that little conflict, you know. But okay, that's what I was.
Yeah. No, I started investing back in like 2008. I started getting educated in 2006, and then I started investing in like 2008, 2009. As a private money lender, actually, that's how I got in. And then from there, the girl that I was loaning money to, she was flipping, and she got up to like 50 houses a year. And so I would go and like watch her and just kind of be on the job just to kind of see what she was doing. And then I did that for a few years, and then moved back to North Carolina. And I was like, okay, I need my money now. And so I went back and started flipping myself. But I got my license because I didn't want to pay a real estate agent to list my houses.
Oh, got you. Okay.
And at the time in 2013, you could actually get a good deal off of MLS. Like, we were actually buying houses off the MLS to flip. It seems like so long ago.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm in a market right now. Yeah, it's just hard to do that one. Yeah.
Back to Belize real quick. Do you have any more of those houses for sale over there?
So we sold out of phase one. Phase two. So phase one was the overwater bungalows. We only had 20. So it's literally like 20 little tiny homes, tiny smart homes. And then phase two will be the same thing. So little tiny smart homes, but they're going to be on land. And then phase three will be condos with a pool. So we're rolling out phase two pretty soon. So if you want more information about that, I can send you, we do webinars all the time, like just teaching people how to buy in Belize, and you can get financing in Belize, which is what I really like. So we do stuff like that a lot.
And so are you going to make yours a short-term rental?
Oh yeah, they're handling the whole thing.
Holy
they do everything. I mean, it's expensive. It's 30%, but I'm like, whatever. Like, I can still, it's 30%, but if I book it, they pay me 15%.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. So it's 30% for them to manage it.
Yeah.
Okay. And in Belize, you can do financing.
Yes.
Is it traditional 25% down to get in, or how does it?
So I'm doing 30%.
Okay.
30% down.
Okay.
Yep. You can do 50% down or 30% down.
Now how like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo? How much is that over there?
You're looking probably about 150 to 200.
Okay. 150
Yep.
to 200.
Was that the overwater ones or no?
The overwater one, I think we did 169 on that one.
What?
169, and it's how big?
Yes.
How big?
It's tiny. It's like a little studio, but it's got, I mean, you have more outdoor space than you have indoor space, really. Because you have your own little deck, like dock area, and then you have like the spiral staircase that goes up to a what do they call it?
A loft.
Yeah, well, kinda. It's outdoors though. They call it something else fancy.
Which I'm trying to think.
They're in parks.
Lanai or something like that. I don't know.
Gazebo? I don't know. No, I don't know.
But it's over water is the thing. I mean, that would look killer with the professional photos on Airbnb. You wouldn't have to market that thing. It'd just be written all the time.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. That's why I jumped all over it. And so did my agent. So out of those 8 that I sold, I think like 6 of those people that bought were agents in my organization as well. So I was like, oh my God, this is a freaking killer deal. Because check this out. There's only one other overwater bungalow community in Belize, and those are renting for about $400 to $500 per night. There is a hotel right next door that's renting hotel rooms for $300 to $400 per night. Their estimates on these were $175 a night. And I was like, y'all have got that wrong. Like, it's going to be so much, it's going to be double that. But they're being like all conservative with the ROI on it. I'm like,
wow,
that's amazing.
Dang.
Okay, now when you say it's glass bottom too, you can see into the water. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Man, you could just wake up and look at the fish. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yep. And then dive off your little deck and swim with them.
See a shark under there. That'd be crazy. Oh man.
Wow.
So you've been hustling since from a young age, or what? You sound like you see all the angles and you take advantage of all the angles.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
started. Yeah. So you started in '06. You said.
Yeah, I started getting educated. I joined a real estate education company called New University back then. They're not around anymore. Actually, the partners split, and one of them went on to do this other thing called Renatus, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was just not a good person. But anyways, like that all went away. And then, but it was great education. It was 2 years. So for 1 week, every single quarter for 2 years, I would go to college. And like literally we would all go to Arizona. We rented a big convention center and each room was classes and we had tests and it was like literally school. And they were actually giving college credits for taking these classes. And so you could sign up and that's where like I learned everything. Like I took every type of real estate investing class. And then when you have that much knowledge, then you can really sit down and be like, okay, this is what I want to focus on. But the thing is, you have to know about everything because when you go in to meet with a client, subject to may not be their thing. The house may not be paid off. They may not be able to do an owner finance deal. Like it just depends. So you have to be well versed, and I think all of it. So you have a lot of tools in your tool belt. And I'm talking more about investing right now. I know this is about Airbnb. Sorry.
No. We're all
Yeah,
we're all about investing. Because you said tool on your tool belt. You work for XP Realty out in Carolina. Do you know? Yeah. Do you know Mike and Shelby?
Mike and Shelby.
Michael Glaspie and Shelby Osborne?
I don't think so. We just hit 43,000 agents.
Oh, you guys. Yeah. So never mind. Because everyone out there, they work for that realty company and they're killing it. So,
look, I've been with them for almost 4 years now, and the stock when I got involved was $2.42. I think we're at like $116 today. We're splitting on the 16th. This company has made millionaires just in the stock, not including the revenue share and everything else. The company shares 50% of revenue with all of the agents. Not including that. I'm just talking about stock alone. Like it's changed our life. Like that's the reason why I can travel. Seriously. Wow. It's not the Airbnb. It's the EXP.
Wow. I might need to get my real estate license.
Wow. You might want to consider that.
Right. So what let me see. I like to ask this question. So what's like your favorite failure? Something that went so wrong, but it pushed you on the path to being very successful.
So many things are coming to mind. So, gosh, I mean, first off, I would say like what pushed me into doing arbitrage versus buying was that issue with the well. That pissed me off. So I was like, I'm not going to buy anymore after that. But gosh, I think I don't consider it a failure. I consider it like a life change, right? So when my dad got cancer and we went to Mexico, that was a pivot point for us because as I'm sitting in Mexico, with him every day at the hospital, him getting treated, I would on a 2 year, about 2 years I would have to go for months at a time and not work. And he passed away now. He's been gone for a little over a year. But during those time frames, like if I didn't have passive income, I wouldn't have been able to survive. And so now that my dad's gone, he left my mom with like her Social Security is less than $1,000 a month. And she wouldn't be able to survive, right? So it's my, like, I'm the one in the family that has to make it work because if I don't win, then she's going to lose. And that's what gets me up every single day. It's not about like me winning for me or the money or anything like that. It's like, if I don't figure this out, then, people that I love are going to suffer. So I think you got to have your why, right? Yeah, and it's got to be bigger than you are.
And it's kind of like, in a way, you're glad that you're doing something that you sound like you're passionate about. You know, a lot of people, I have to help my mom, I have to whatever. That means I have to work 88, 100 hours a week at a job I hate to do it, you know. But you found a way to do something that you enjoy and you're passionate about to also be able to, you know, hit ends meet or to, you know, to be successful.
I love what I do. And the Airbnb is just one part of it. Like what I love most is teaching these agents that come and partner with me. I love teaching them how to do all this. And when they come and they send me a text, hey, I just got my 5th property, or I just got my first one under contract, or, you know, I just did an owner finance deal. Like that's what lights me up. So I'm like, yes, like, they're learning, and they're not just being a real estate agent. So many real estate agents are just real estate agents, and they sell houses until they die. Like literally 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot at the closing table. They're 80 years old and they can't stop selling houses because they have no passive income. And that's unacceptable. Like I've got to change that. So that's, you know, I made it my mission. I'm like, I want to inspire 10,000 agents, real estate agents, to live a passive income lifestyle. And that's what I'm after. So I will have 10,000 agents in my organization at eXp Realty by 2025. And that is like in stone. That will happen because we're going to be at 100,000 agents by next year, or excuse me, the end of this year.
Sign me up. I want to be one of your agents.
Let's go. Let's roll.
Real. Dang.
We can operate here in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Everywhere. I'm worldwide.
I'm really
Sweet. Let's do it. Let's do it, Myka.
For real. I might have to go get my license now. Everybody's talking me into it, talking me off the edge.
So what advice would you give to someone out there who hates their job, hates where they're at in life, and they want to do something, they want to change it up, they want to do something?
Do it.
Do it.
I mean, so this is the thing. People are always like, oh, I don't have time or this or that. Number one, find someone that you jive with. Find someone who's doing what you want to do and be mentored by them. You're probably going to have to spend money, okay? Because people just don't have time to invest in you and help you and everything without actually making money on that normally. So find someone who speaks to you, buy their course, get mentored, hire them to be your coach, whatever it is, and dive into what they're telling you to do. And if that means you have to wake up an hour or two early every single morning and have 3 cups of coffee because you haven't been up that early in your entire life, to dive into their material and to learn and to train yourself, do it. It's a temporary thing that's going to get you to a life, like a life worth living, right? This is what's going to build your empire, but it's not going to happen by working your 9-to-5 job and, you know, going home and having a beer and having dinner and going to bed and watching a movie. Like that's not going to happen.
Facts.
So you got to sacrifice.
Man, I love that. That's a beautiful spot to end it. What do you think, Myka?
Yes, sir. 9 to 5, work a job. 6 to 12, you build your legacy. I love it.
Wow, Amanda, thank you so much for hopping on and giving us all this great knowledge and inspiring us to do more. Because I mean, yeah, even in how we're doing it, we see one thing, we're like, okay, I'm just gonna do that because it works. But every single angle of the puzzle, every piece of the puzzle, you're like, you find a way to make money, you know, and that's how you got to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, sure. A blast. You might have 2 new realtors on your team.
Let's roll. I'm telling you.
Oh, we got to talk about the timeshares, Amanda.
Oh, we sure do.
We can talk on air or off air.
Whatever you want to do.
We can talk on.
Let's do it.
So, okay. So you were talking about your people that want to get rid of their timeshares, right? What if I told you you can make $50,000 a month on your timeshare?
Tell me how.
You can rent it out on Airbnb.
You're 1 week a month? You're 1 week a year?
Mm-mm. If you don't take the week and don't take the points, you rent out the bonus time and the inventory special time. So if you would call your timeshare company and ask them, hey, can you give me access to your calendar when your places aren't booked? They're usually called inventory specials and bonus time. It'll be like they'll give you all their inventory when it's not booked. And you can book it anytime you want. And you just throw those days on Airbnb. And all you do is sign up and put the guest from Airbnb on the guest pass, and they can pay you. And Airbnb pays you, and then you pay the little timeshare fee or whatever. And you only pay if the timeshare is paid off. I wouldn't tell anyone to go buy a timeshare. It is a bad investment unless you find one that's paid off, and then they'll pay you the difference. So you can rent a timeshare you can buy one. Well, you can rent the bonus time for $300 a night, sell it for $600 a night, pay for it with a credit card, get travel credit points off the $300 you just spent. So that comes out to like 3 or 4 times the points, so like 1,200 points, and you get paid for it.
So are you talking about the RCI bonus weeks?
It's called bonus time. This is the bonus time and inventory specials. It's the time that the timeshares, they have all this availability, but it's just people aren't booking it.
Yeah.
And you can sell it.
Okay. So how many timeshares would you actually have to own? Because it sounds like to me, you're really only owning one.
One.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing. And this is why I hate timeshares so much.
I hate them too.
I was in this industry for a long time, but I was on the other side. So people would come to me wanting to get out of the timeshares, and they would literally pay me thousands of dollars to get them out. And I worked with an attorney, and we did all that for them. This is how I made a lot of money and was able to be a private money lender when I first got into real estate. So this, oh gosh. All right. This is the thing about timeshares that I hate. Okay. These people are getting sold on an idea that is never going to happen. Okay. Mm-hmm. So once you buy a timeshare, it's for life. And that's what people don't understand. And that maintenance fee is going to go up every single year. It's going to double, triple, quadruple. They're going to get hit with special assessments when the building gets hit with the hurricane. And when they can't use it, they still have to pay for it. And by the way, there's just enough property taxes involved with that maintenance fee that you're paying every single year that attaches it to real property, meaning your house. So if you don't pay the maintenance fee, they can place a lien on your real property. Oh, and by the way, when you die, before your children can get your house, they have to accept the timeshare. That's why I don't like timeshares.
True.
And the only people telling you that you can sell them and get out of them are people who are going to charge you an upfront fee, $500,000, $1,000 to go list your timeshare, and it's never going to sell. You can go to eBay and find them for $1 all day long.
There you go.
So that's why I'm like, I hate them, like with a passion, right?
That's crazy. So you used to be one of the people that get people out of the timeshares.
Yes. I would travel around every week. I was gone. I would leave Thursday night and I would come home Monday night, all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We were doing presentations and we were explaining to people how we were getting them out. And they would literally be writing checks for me, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to get them out.
I got to get in that business.
No, it's not good anymore.
Really?
It was really good. So it was really good. 2008, 2009 was like our best years ever. We started the company and we ended up like hitting Fortune 500 magazine. We were number 27. We did $77 million that year. Like it freaking rocked that year because people were scared because we were in a recession, right? They couldn't afford to pay the maintenance fees. Then I started having all these children coming in who inherited their parents' timeshares and maintenance fees. It was just crazy. But I don't know, I say it's not good anymore. It's more difficult now because there's a lot of scams out there. So people have got word that this is a business and people were making a lot of money in this business. And then the bad people got word of it. And so now there's probably only about 20% of the exit type companies out there that are actually legit.
Wow. I'm happy you said that because I hear people because I've consulted with people and they were asking about people and I've never had anyone legitimate to send them to, but I'm happy you said that because I didn't know a lot of those people are scamming. I figured they were just kind of how, when something comes off a little snaky, you're like, wow.
Yeah. So, you got to be careful. You got to do your research. You got to see who the attorneys are. You got to, get your testimonials, all that stuff. And I still have a lot of connections in the industry. So if you do know someone with timeshare, like I'll hook them up with somebody who will actually get the job done.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to be careful with that. But yeah, okay. So if you're doing this method, oh God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Like one timeshare only with a low maintenance fee, because and don't buy it.
Yeah.
Like, let someone give it to you.
Yes. See, that's the point. See, what I tell people is, okay, and this is what I teach people. You can get a timeshare of like between $1 to $400 that's already paid off, right? So how I've taught, like one of my students, she bought one for like $300, already paid off. She got 20,000 points. I told her, you can use the points to travel if you want to. You don't even need to sell them. But now she has access to 400 different properties that she can just rent on Airbnb. So that's what I teach people. I don't tell people to go buy them, but I tell people you can make money off of them if you know what you're doing and you get the right one. Those RCI ones, I don't really mess with because that is the biggest scam. RCI is probably the biggest scam out there. It is a scam. Yeah, they pretty much give you 2 weeks. Hey, here's 2 weeks out the year. You pay $300 a month until it's paid off, and then once it's paid off, you have to pay like $150 a month for a $150 a month. And are you really going to use 2 weeks? Even if you do, is it worth it? When you can travel for free with travel points, you know what I mean? So it's not really,
But something else they do though is RCI has the bonus weeks. So if you have a timeshare, then they do have their $199 for the week, and their inventory is always changing, right?
Yep.
But you can rent that way, and you're actually renting like an actual location for an actual like set period, like set date. So it sounds like to me what you're doing with these, the way you're marketing these is you're marketing it, and then once someone books, that's when you go and book it. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you handle that? Like, what if they cancel?
We put a strict cancellation policy on there. So if they cancel, we get paid out. And there's even times when they cancel, we can still cancel. And then everyone gets paid out. So I started doing it like 3-4 years ago. At first we were like, this ain't going to work. And then once we learned it, I was like, I kind of went through and read the like fine print of everything. It's only for this one specific timeshare. RCI doesn't really work. It works if you rent out the week, but it's only like 2 weeks of income. You know what I mean? Out of the year. We just figured out how to make it 365 days out the year.
Interesting. Do you have a course on that?
Yeah. I'm actually revamping it right now because things have changed. We actually got a good guy on the team out in Argentina, our guy Federico, and yeah, we're revamping it. So yeah.
We posted, because that's very interesting the way you're dealing with that. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that, and like when people say they have a timeshare, I just ask them who's it with, and if we're interested, I'll let one of my students go buy it. So it depends. It just depends on who it's with. But yeah, most of them are kind of a scam. You just have to get the right one.
Yeah. So do you run away from Wyndham or what?
Those are my people. I love Wyndham. I love Wyndham. Now those other people I'm not with. Wyndham I'm cool with.
I stayed at a Wyndham there in Cabo. Yeah.
At Cabo?
In Cabo, I stayed at Wyndham.
You're probably at mine.
It's really cheap. Yeah, it was a long time.
If it was cheap, I wouldn't know.
It was a long time ago. It was like $50 or $60 a night. It was really cheap. It was a nice place. It's right overlooking the marina. It was really nice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a Wyndham hotel over there.
Do what?
Was it a Wyndham hotel?
I believe so. Yeah, it was looking right over the water. It was really nice.
Resorts.
I remember arriving in Cabo and going through like that timeshare gauntlet right after you got off your plane to get your bags. It shows like RTVs over here on the rocks, and it shows pretty girls are coming up to you. Hey, you want to sign up for some things? I didn't know it was timeshares. I mean, it was just like, hey, you want to sign up for some excursions? I was like, oh, where y'all at? He goes, oh, just don't worry. Here, sign here. We'll pick you up in the morning. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
What you just said, Steve, that's like one of the biggest things I've had like on the Airbnb side. They were like, oh, I didn't like the timeshare pitch. So I like kind of I tell them like we have an automated message that goes to them like, hey, if they tell you they want to pitch and sell you a timeshare, just tell them no, you're not interested. So
unless you want some free breakfast.
Yeah, those breakfasts, man, those turned into like 2-hour pitches.
9 hours.
That was the running joke back in the industry in the old days was the most expensive lobster dinner I've ever had.
$20,000 lobster dinner. Jeez.
For real, man. But it's been awesome having you, Amanda. Good talking to you. I'll definitely keep you in the loop about the course and whatnot. But yeah, definitely, you've inspired me for sure. I might go get my real estate license. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you.
Where can folks find you?
Oh yeah,
Amanda.
So I am known as Amanda the Traveling Realtor. So all social media accounts, my website is amandathetravelingrealtor.com. If you do a little /passive, you'll get a free download for a training that I did on my 3 favorite streams of income. Went into detail on that. So yeah, I have all kinds of freebies and goodies on my website. And I do, actually, I'm doing a couple of events coming up too. So yeah, just check that out and follow me and you'll see it when I start doing my events.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. Another great Clubhouse connection. Everybody needs to get on that app. So if you aren't on Clubhouse, get on it. So yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
And that was Amanda Williams on episode 153 of your favorite podcast in the world. Yeah, man, she really dropped some knowledge.
Yeah. Now, is this 153 or 152?
153. Yeah.
Moving, man.
We're moving.
Yeah. Real good episode. She really inspired me. I definitely was like, dang, okay. See, I liked how she was saying she was flipping houses. She used that to get into, what did she say she was doing at the beginning? She was doing private money. It landed in getting your real estate license. So like, that's one thing I'm working on in my business is like, okay, I'm doing BRRRRs, but maybe a flip wouldn't be too bad, just to flip something, then, get something else. So definitely have a lot of tools on your tool belt.
And I alluded to it in the show, like being kind of told, maybe it's not best for you to get your real estate license because you'll be held to a higher standard. And I think with these people, I won't say one person, but what they were kind of saying that, let's say you go up at a house and you say, hey, would you like to sell your house? And you make them a low ball offer, 50 grand, and they take it. You can get in trouble for that because then a family member say, wait a minute, your house, if you would have listed it, you'd have got 150. And this agent took you for a ride. You could get your ass sued because you have to kind of disclose, I'm an agent and I have to disclose I'm an agent. If you put this on the market, you would probably get like 100 and something thousand for it. So that kind of handicaps people that want to knock the heads clean off of people, and take their houses for pennies on the dollar. So I'm just saying it could happen to me or you. Hey man, I found a good deal. I bought the house. I'm not an agent. I don't know. But agents kind of have to, just like a doctor. Hey, this vaccine might, make you grow another head or something. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, it's accountability, but I mean,
yeah.
But here's the flip side on that. Let's say you don't have to make them a low ball offer because you can get paid on the back end. Like, list your house with me, you can make this much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I will tell you something, man. Being on the selling side, it's a bitch. Like, I'm like, man, I'm refinancing everything. I don't even want to flip. Like, shit. For real, man. It's a bitch. Like, you got to get shit fixed. It's like, damn. But,
yeah. Oh, well. So, yeah, man. I've always thought about getting my license too. So we'll
you gonna do it?
She's inspired me to think harder about it. I mean, yeah, why not?
If you do it, I'll do it.
Another tool in the toolbox. How much does it cost a month to put your hat somewhere? How do they say?
It's a
couple $100 a month
to the board. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, I'm interested. I might look into it. I
want to see those glass bottom houses. That's for sure.
Oh, you can look them up online, man. There's a bunch of them on Airbnb. Especially
cool.
out in like Fiji. Like Fiji has
yeah.
glass bottom ones, man. That's pretty dope.
Belize is a little closer, just a little hop.
Yeah. Especially right now during COVID.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, cool, man. It's a great episode.
Yeah, great episode. Remember to follow us on IG, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. And always, we're about to start hosting some rooms on Clubhouse. The club is up though. Whenever you get on Clubhouse, remember to follow Live Let Thrive, follow Myka Artist, and follow Stevie Stacks. Get access to the club and join up, and we will start hosting some rooms on there. But and if you have any questions, comments, if you're a lender, if you could help us grow, email us at liveletthrive@gmail.com. We are out.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.